What is up, Earth's mightiest subscribers? It's Ernie Blerd without fear. Welcome back to the channel. Okay, so today's video, we're going to be talking about Shuri, the sister of T'Challa, the Black Panther. We're going to break down her character history, origin, all that stuff right now. But first, wash your damn hands and let's hit that intro.
Word to wise, grass only greener when it's fertilized. Gave them truth in these songs, they prefer to lies. Destiny beautiful, adrift in her purple lies. You can't see me, you Stevie, wondering how I reach more evolutions than Evie and make it look easy.
Before we get started, if you want to see more awesome comic book videos like this one, it only takes 2 clicks to become one of Earth's mightiest subscribers. Click. Shuri first appeared in Black Panther Volume 4, Number 2 in 2005 and would make her debut as Black Panther in Black Panther Volume 5, Number 5 in 2009. She was created by Reggie Hudlin and John Romita Jr. The youngest and only daughter of T'Chaka, Shuri is the half-sister of King T'Challa, the Black Panther. Since she was a little girl, her dream was to become the first woman to be Black Panther. She almost achieved this early on when she defied her mother, Queen Ramonda, when she decided to challenge her uncle for the title. But before she could, a masked T'Challa would beat her to it. She would later get her wish when T'Challa fell into a coma due to his injuries facing off against Dr. Doom. Thus, she went from becoming the princess of Wakanda to becoming the queen regent of Wakanda. As Black Panther, Shuri has access to the heart-shaped herb that grants those who partake of it peak human abilities. Her strength has reached peak human levels and she uses this strength to enhance her combat capabilities. And though she typically errs on the side of agility and grace, she's proven she can rip materials and mechanisms made of steel apart with her bare hands. She's also strong enough to free climb without the aid of her suit or claws. Her stamina levels are also peak human, negating the amount of fatigue toxins that would normally build up in her muscles. This allows her to perform high-intensity activities for long stretches of time, and her lung capacity is also enhanced by this. Her durability and pain thresholds are also peak human. Her skin has become far denser, allowing her to shrug off attacks that would maim your average human being. To offset any damage she couldn't simply shrug off, she has peak human regenerative healing capabilities as well that allow her to spend little time recovering from injury, as well as allowing her to more quickly and efficiently metabolize food, and her immune system protects her from common illnesses. Her speed is on par with any Olympic level athlete, and her speed isn't just enhanced when running, but also while dodging, leaping, and other forms of movement. She is so fast that the average human eye cannot keep up with her. Her reflexes are so quick, she can even dodge bullets from heavy military firearms, even at point-blank range. Shuri's agility has also reached peak human levels, granting her impeccable balance and equilibrium. Her level of dexterity is so incredibly high that her movements, reflexes, and agile grace come off as cat-like. Unlike her other physical attributes, her 5 senses are superhumanly enhanced, with her eyesight as keen as a nighttime predator's. She can see in total darkness by using her gift of ultraviolet or infrared sight. She can also hear things the average human can't hear, even some things only certain animals can. Shuri's sense of smell is also incredibly acute. She can even memorize scents of various people or things, allowing her to identify someone based on scent alone. Her sense of taste is so sharp that she can recount every ingredient in the food that she eats. When Shuri was defeated by Thanos' Black Order, she was trapped in a stasis that led to her wandering the Wakandan ancestral plane. This led to her gaining various supernatural abilities from her time training there as a shaman. She can now transform into a flock of ravens, and in some cases can even become a giant raven. Her durability and speed have also been increased exponentially to being superhuman, with her being able to no-sell powerful energy blasts and move as fast, if not faster, than a cheetah. She has developed a stone skin form that makes it possible to turn her skin and her clothes into rock that is dense enough to resist bullet fire, but flexible enough to allow her to move. She's even shown she can empathize with animals, allowing her to talk to them spiritually and even put them at ease and even command them. Shuri has the ability to transport herself as well as others to the Wakandan ancestral plane at will, with little to no effort whatsoever. Shuri also learned how to alter her size, magnifying it to make herself as tall and large as a mountain. She's also developed a knack for necromancy, allowing her to conjure the long-dead armies of Wakanda to fight for her. If all that weren't enough, she is an incredibly gifted intellectual. Her intellect is on par with her brother T'Challa's, and she is just as gifted in the fields of science, engineering, and technology as he is, if not more so. As Queen of Wakanda, she enjoys diplomatic immunity when traveling abroad, as Wakanda is recognized as a sovereign nation in good standing, and the Wakandan embassy is considered foreign soil where she dictates the law. Speaking of politics, Shuri is a very savvy politician. Her skills of diplomacy are rivaled only by her brother, and her mind is a sharp weapon, not just for scientific matters, but for the battlefield as well. She's a gifted tactician thanks to her time training with Wakandan war chiefs as a child. Her philosophy is no different than that of her father T'Chaka. Always think 2 steps ahead. As Queen Regent of Wakanda, Shuri has many tools at her disposal. She can call upon the usage of many different Wakandan objects of power and magical artifacts when she sees fit. She also can call on the minds and muscle of her nation whenever she likes. Like her brother, she also possesses an incredible acumen for engineering and mechanics and has a level of skill and knowledge of Wakandan technology that even her brother can't rival. She's invented many of Wakanda's greatest advancements without any input from anyone else, including T'Challa's. One of her more interesting creations was a compact vehicle that could be fit inside a record sleeve. Shuri is also not afraid to throw hands. She's been trained in hand-to-hand combat arts by not just the Dora Milaje, the protectors of the Wakandan throne, and the Black Panther's royal guard, but also from T'Challa himself. She's gone toe-to-toe solo dolo with arguably one of Thanos' greatest warriors, Proxima Midnight, and though she didn't defeat her, she proved she could hold her own against a greater foe. She's also faced off with the likes of Dr. Doom, Namor, and Morlun, each with varying degrees of success. To augment her combat capabilities even further, she is a world-class gymnast training in acrobatics since she was a child. Her suit, though made of the same vibranium microwave mesh that T'Challa's is, has some modifications that make it more adapted to Shuri's body and combat needs. It still possesses the ability to deny incoming objects of their momentum, causing bullets and other projectiles to not so much ricochet off her, but simply fall flat to the ground. And it still has the same sound dampening boots and disguise tech that allows her to modify the suit's look, cape, mask, and or make it appear to be regular clothes. It's also heavily resistant to knives and stabbing weapons, unless the suit is slashed along the grain of the weave in the suit. Her suit also possesses adamantium-tipped vibranium claws, whereas T'Challa uses a variant of vibranium known as Antarctic vibranium or anti-metal. Shuri also has a more advanced version of the Black Panther suit, not too dissimilar from T'Challa's heavenly armor that looks almost like an Iron Man suit of armor. This suit is far more sturdy and durable and was instrumental in allowing her to face off with Prince Namor. She also employs a host of Wakandan weaponry and gadgets, namely her trademark vibranium spear with a vibranium tip. Shuri also uses a variety of small spherical-shaped weapons, one of which were known as holopods that can unleash holograms for distraction, each of which has its own heat signature, mostly used for misdirection as the holograms cannot actually harm the target. She also employs spider bites, similar to the holopods, but instead of unleashing holograms, these unleash a non-lethal gas accompanied by an electroshock. Her desert sands operate on a similar level, but instead activating an EMP cloud. Her desert suns function just the same, giving off an explosive blast of light that can sap a humanoid body of its hydration, but on a non-lethal level. She once used these to bring down Namor. Her shock nets also work in the same way, unleashing an electric net when they make contact. This net has an electroshock that is 10 times stronger than any military-grade version of its type. And though this is not her personal weapon, she did once wield the ebon blade of the Black Knight to take down Radioactive Man, a blade that was confiscated by T'Challa when the Vatican's quote Littlefinger's version of the Black Knight, Augustine Dulac, tried to use it when invading Wakanda. Speaking of the first person Shuri ever killed was Radioactive Man. This was something that plagued her for some time until T'Challa took a vested interest in training her in proper martial combat techniques. Oddball fact, Shuri is a vegan, and during her start as Queen Regent, she met then President Barack Obama. When Shuri first gained her own solo comic, Shuri #1, she was redesigned to appear more like actress Letitia Wright's portrayal of the character in the MCU's Black Panther film. Shuri is quite the deceptive one, especially when working in concert with her brother T'Challa, once tricking Namor into believing Atlantis and Wakanda had finally agreed upon peace terms, when in truth, while Namor was away, Shuri and an army of Wakandans had laid waste to an unprotected Atlantis. Shuri has always valued the protection of her brother, even before becoming a Black Panther herself. This is why she sacrificed herself to Thanos' Cabal when they were both cornered by Proxima Midnight. This, of course, would lead to her being trapped in a stasis, as I mentioned earlier, resulting in her being trapped in the Wakandan ancestral plane. Due to the white tuft of hair in Shuri's costume that flowed from her mask, when a female Black Panther character was originally announced, many presumed Storm was the one under the mask, seeing as how she has long white hair and had not long before married into the royal family. Reggie Hudlin's writing even played this up, hinting Storm might potentially take up the mantle, but by the second issue of this particular reveal, we learn she is in fact endorsing Shuri as Black Panther, believing in her even when Shuri's own mother, Queen Ramonda, had reservations. Despite being teased as a Black Panther and gracing the cover of the first 4 issues of Black Panther Volume 5, she wouldn't actually become Black Panther until issue number 5. Speaking of, in the issue prior to this where Shuri met Bast, the Panther god, to claim the mantle of Black Panther, Bast denied her, citing that she was unworthy due to her jealousy of T'Challa, her hubris, and thinking the mantle is a trophy to be claimed and won. This was technically a test. When Bast denies one the mantle of Black Panther, Bast kills them. Bast did not kill Shuri. Bast gave her an opportunity to recognize her shortcomings and over-reliance on her knowledge of science and Wakandan technology, and to believe in something greater. Shuri loves T'Challa deeply and would do anything for him, but in New Avengers Volume 3, number 12, she learned T'Challa was secretly meeting with Namor on Wakandan soil during the Wakandan-Atlantean conflict. She banished him from the Golden City as a result. Considering this was after Namor had drowned Wakanda in Avengers vs. X-Men, resulting in countless Wakandan casualties, this was considered merciful. When Wakanda was facing its own civil war with the Dora Milaje defecting from Wakanda and becoming their own society, while Tetu led a Nagandan army against T'Challa, Shuri was in fact the one who would convince Ayo and Anika to bring the Dora Milaje back as allies. Now let's get into some media-related appearances. Shuri is a supporting character on the Black Panther TV series that originally aired on BET, voiced by Kerry Washington. Shuri also shows up in the Avengers Assembled animated series episode, The Eye of Agamotto Part 1, voiced by Kimberly Brooks. And all other appearances she made on the series since that point, she was voiced by Daisy Lightfoot. She also appears in the Avengers Assembled TV movies Avengers Secret Wars and Avengers Black Panther's Quest. Shuri makes an appearance in LEGO Marvel Superheroes, Black Panther Trouble in Wakanda, voiced again by Daisy Lightfoot. And Shuri appears in the animated short Marvel Rising Operation Shuri, once again voiced by Daisy Lightfoot. Shuri has made multiple appearances in the MCU played by actress Letitia Wright, and making her debut in 2018's Black Panther, then later making another pair of appearances in the third acts of Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. She is expected to appear once again in the forthcoming Black Panther 2. And even outside of movies and television, she has a book written about her called Shuri, a Black Panther novel written by Nick Stone. Shuri has appeared in a few video games as well. Shuri is playable in the Diablo-like Marvel Heroes game, but only as an enhanced costume for Black Panther. Shuri makes an appearance as a playable character in the Black Panther DLC for LEGO Marvel's Avengers as well. Shuri once again appears as a playable character in LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2, voiced by Susie Wokoma. And Shuri has made appearances in multiple mobile games, showing up as a playable character character in both Marvel Future Fight and Marvel Puzzle Quest. Now, normally when I do this, I like to pick an actor or an actress who I think could play this character on the big or small screen. I'm not going to do that in this video, obviously, because Letitia Wright does a fantastic job portraying this character. So we're not doing that in this video. However, I am going to give some recommended reading. Now, this one's a little bit more tricky because I feel like, Shuri is all over the place in the Black Panther Volume 4 series by Reggie Hudlin. However, I do recommend it as a very good read because it is going to be your introduction to getting to know her as a character. She specifically shows up within the first 6 issues of the series and then kind of disappears and reappears off and on here or there throughout the rest of the series, but shows up a little more frequently towards the end of Volume 4, roughly around issues 35 up to 41. I also recommend Black Panther Volume 5, also by Reggie Hudlin, which is where you will get to witness Shuri's journey as Black Panther and as Queen of Wakanda. The entire 12-issue run is fantastic. I also recommend checking out the Black Panther-centric story arc, Doom War 1 through 5 by Jonathan Mayberry. And aside from that, I also highly recommend checking out Shuri's own solo series, simply titled Shuri by Nnedi Okorafor. Shuri is an amazing character. I think is probably one of the better legacy characters that Marvel had unleashed onto the Marvel Comics universe, and I feel like definitely garnered a fan base, especially in the wake of the Black Panther film and people finally getting to learn about her character. She kind of has a special place in my heart because roughly around the time where I was starting to get back into comics, around like 2009 when she was getting ready to become Black Panther, I just started collecting again and I wound up getting her first appearance. I think I actually still have most of her Volume 5 run where she is, becoming Black Panther. And I don't know, for some reason, it just really spoke to me. I don't know. I just really liked the writing. I thought she was a good character. And I love the fact that she continued on becoming even more prosperous as Black Panther and even kind of getting away from being Black Panther and just kind of becoming a character, all her own. All in all, I really just can't wait to see how she evolves as a character going forward. That said, what do you think about Queen Shuri? Have you always known about her, or are you today years old finding out about her? Wash your damn hands and sound off in the comments.
So hey, you made it to the end of the video. Awesome for you. If you enjoyed this video, and if you made it this far, I don't see how you didn't, do me a favor. Hulk smash that like button. And if you want to see more awesome videos like this one, make sure you click subscribe so you can become one of Earth's mightiest subscribers. And tap that bell so you know when I post up. Also, feel free to go check out my Patreon, where if you chuck in $1, you can get early access to most of my videos up to a week early. And if you have time, make sure you swing by nerd901.com, where you can find more of my content as well as other amazing stuff. Anyways, until next time, I love you 3000 plus Ultra!